Good evening. I'm Nate Davis, reporting for Davy News. I'm here to bring you breaking news on a story about Buddha and Buddhism. To understand the philosophies and how they relate today, you must first understand the first Buddha. His name was Sumatra. He was born in northern India, and he was a prince. When he was born with the prophecy of either A, he was going to conquer the world, or B, he would be a great spiritual leader. His father, being the king, naturally wanted him to conquer the world. So he isolated him inside his palace with strict rules to his guards that Sumatra would not be allowed to leave the palace and give him whatever he wants. So he had women, he had money, he had fame for this area, he had everything he wanted. Naturally, everybody gets bored. So when he was 29, he started sneaking out, started observing people when he noticed suffering in everybody. So he wanted to fulfill his spiritual enlightenment, if you will. So he abandoned his whole family, his newborn son included, and his wife, to go seek spiritual enlightenment. He ran into several Hinduism groups, but the one that stuck out to was aesthetics. This group believed in self-mutilation and the bare minimum of sources and food for survival. So naturally, Sumatra was great at this, eating barely anything and virtually starving himself. After a while, in his livelihood, realizes he was no closer to reaching spiritual enlightenment. So one day, out for a walk, he ran into a little girl. She noticed he was starving. She offered, through compassion, the bowl of rice. So Buddha loved the compassion he felt from her. So he decided to go sit by a fig tree and meditate. This fig tree, which later would be a holy site, and he meditated there. He vowed not to leave that spot until he understood the meaning of life. Mara, an evil deity, came up to him and challenged him with his 3 beautiful daughters. Sumatra didn't budge, didn't care. He knew they were there, but he didn't budge. So after a while, Mara got irritated with this and went up to him and said, "What makes you think you deserve this?" Sumatra did not say anything at first, but touched the ground. The earth moved and trembled. This scared Mara. So he said, "Because I am one with the universe." Now, a lot of this stuff is the theology and philosophy behind Buddhism. So it was at this moment that he became Buddha. And his teachings that he came up with, or his philosophy on the way of life, was the 4 noble truths, and they are the truth of suffering, the arising of suffering, the truth of cessation of suffering, and then the 4th one, the truth of the path leading to cessation of suffering. This is the Noble Eightfold Path. Right understanding, right intent, right speech, right behavior, right livelihood, right effort, right meditation, right contemplation. Now, if you abide by all these, there would be almost no conflict, because these are sheer necessities of communication. So after Buddha died, Buddha was eventually split in 3 different groups. One in Nepal and the surrounding areas, Tibet, one in Southeast Asia, one in China, in the Korean Peninsula, and Japan. This is my presentation on Buddhism.